Good morning, Rebbe. Okay, let me see where my pencil is. Here it is, right here. Okay, I was going to go today to the the finish on the drashi on the tefillos, shinui tefillos. So just a little running start across the top, reading on page pei. Then we're going to come to the end of this. Batam adavar lefi shebetachidach on the bechilas alayla, the beginning of the nighttime, b'kriya shema the arvis. Leah osa ma'aros shal mochin the sheish kitzvos the b'tzad ima kenizkar. So what came in from the side of Ima, she's related to Ima. V'achar tefilas arvis nistalkol the mochin dezah. But after marvis, then the mochin dezah leave v'chol zechah b'lecha the b'koma ach ba'ach. So now that's where our stage is at. V'hozad ata b'chatzis alayla. But now you move towards Chatzis Alayla. So everything went backwards to where that it was. And now it says, Hoya Abba v'Ima misakne mitboinim. So then they were busy building her up. B'hiyosa ach ba'ach, in that position where she was ach ta'aka before it's Leinu. We had this explained. Besod Shkivas Alayla, which apparently somewhere else over there he says where it is. So he said, then at the first half of the nighttime, then we're entering in, spreading throughout her, Hanai, the Abba B'Ima, they went directly into her. And he says, and so therefore, and coming to that time, which is going to bring her into that position, to make a yichud, Kanizkar, Yesh bar koach lehispashat. She has the strength to be able to spread, because to spread the lahagdi bekol kumazer an pinkula, because of all of this energy that came into it in the dormita as we sleep. Gan inyan Yaakov hu ba'ofen zeh. So let's go. Okay, we have a little bit more. I'll read a little bit more. Gan inyan Yaakov hu ba'ofen zeh ki hinecha bechatzis arishon shal l'layla. As they're coming into Leah, now they bring her up. But Yaakov comes out also. Besoch Leah. So he's going to go through the Inyan of Purim a little bit. So let's look at number Ayin Daled. That's where we're at, really. It's Ayin Zion. My mistake. So he says, Husham is boyer. So what's over there? Inyan ha'aretz nishmas Mordechai. What's happening in Mordechai? Shuhu ha'taras yisod the abach magula, because that's the part. Now he says specifically it's the Yataras yisod the abach, which is revealed. V'chein kuba parts of Yaakov kodim chetzos alada. So this is the same situation that's having with Yaakov before midnight. Shemeir bo ha'taras yisod the abach begilui. There, it's the Yataras Yisod is shining onto Yaakov Begilui, or it's developing a Yaakov. What's this word? Meir bo Yataras Yisod. It shines on Yaakov, this Yataras Yisod the Abba Begilui. Shulchan Meir L'chutz, which is actually what's happening. It's Meir L'chutz v'na'as v'bena bechinas Yaakov. It winds up shining out through Leah and develops Yaakov. Now he has an explanation. Let's see if we need it. Of what that's talking about. So he said, "V'lechein osa ha'aros shekibel Yaakov oz kodem chetzos alada." So then the light that Yaakov was able to receive before that time, nitztarfu im elo ha'oros hayotzim atach betoch Zah atzma. They all joined together with the lights that are coming out of Zah himself. Now that's during this period of time. I guess before chetzos. So this is after the Nai of Ima has come in. Let's hear this and see if we have a good explanation. He says, those lights of Abba Ve'ima sheniknasu v'spashtu b'leah. So let's try to get our ideas here together. He says, Oros de'ima choya k'dei lahagdil es Leah. So the person, of course, we know that. Shagam kinok, because this is female to female. Avo oris the abach of avsheniknasu b'leah. Now they're inside of Leah too. Einim nisharim besocha, but they can't remain there. It could be shum yisod abba hu yisod the dacher. It's a male yisod. Shehu yoser arak mi yisod hanukva shalea. So the nekeva. So he said nekeva here. The hanukva shalea. So it's much longer than that. Ein yochol lehimatze besocha. It's not able to stay inside of her anymore. Raka yisod the abba atzmo, but the yisod of abba himself. That can't stay inside of her. So the Ataras Yisods, I guess he's saying is that matching along with the Yisod of Ima is Yisod the Abba, but you have a problem here is that they reach the end of the line and they're still in the Ataras Yisod. For who over so it passes through and it breaks outwards. Now, I'm just trying to picture this because I'm thinking that Leah is on the back. So he's trying to say, I guess, what? I mean, where is she in relationship? This is my question. Where is she in relationship to Zeranpin now? Is she from his, where is she at? Is she at his Chagat, which is where, like her extension above the Chazet? She's being built up and she's being made longer. And so now she's going to become, as a result of this entrance of Ima into her, she's going to go until the full height of Zeranpin. I guess it means that at her bottom is going to stick out the Ataras Yisod of Abba. So he said, the Bokeh L'chutz v'oros elu hayotzim mechataras Yisod shel Abba. So now the lights are coming out, and they're in Begilui. Nimsa shebegulim heim b'li masach. They have no covering, and they're wide open lights. Now, like I say, I'm just trying to figure out they have to come around to the front, but at any case, it's down at the bottom of Leah, all the way down at the bottom of Zeranpin, and now they're out. And this light that now Yaakov is receiving, or this is the light that Yaakov receives. So through these really big time lights that now Yaakov is receiving, he says, Nishpa the Yaakov Shefa or Godel, then it gets a tremendous amount of light. So even after so he said, also after Sheyatzach Shefa the Yaakov is man chatzos, it comes out to Yaakov at this time of midnight. So even after Zah is already, let's say he's not sleeping anymore, but notice the Atma the Yaakov is Oris Ru'uyim the Seislo, so there's also a transfer of light now from, I guess he means to say that, I'm getting really confused by that idea. He says that, let me just read his words. Nishba the Yaakov Shefa or Godel, so he's got tremendous. But l'chein gam acher sheyatzach Shefa the Yaakov. So now the Shefa has already come out, bisman chatzos, at the time of chatzos. She'az hazah kavar lo patardema. He says, after chatzos, Zah's not sleeping anymore. So he said the Nisan, so therefore Zav Nisan is Atzma the Yaakov as Ha'orus, he gives the lights, Ha'ru'uyim l'seislo, that in other words that he would normally give him, which would build him up to the Chaza, let's say, Kol Pam, Shetzarach Lehis Yaakov, every time that you have to have a Yichud, V'az Yaakov is Yachid in Leah b'shleimus a Yichud, so then Yaakov makes a complete and total Yichud with Leah. So he said, well, Ba'oras Meruvim, with a tremendous amount of light, he has a tremendous amount of light in him. So he said something that, I guess he's saying like this, he's saying that we should wake up at midnight because Zeranpin wakes up at midnight. I think it's what he said. I mean, it just wasn't the point of what he said, but just thinking about Rebbe Nachman and the point that he makes about being up at midnight, anyway, so let's go on. So by putting all of these lights together, Nibdal Yaakov B'kol Orech Kuma Zeranpin Kula, he winds up getting the lights from Zeranpin because Zeranpin is now awake, and all of the extension that came through Leah, which was a powerful light that had no filter. And Mizdavigim Leah Achachatzos La'al Panim B'Panim, but now he makes a yichud with her face to face, B'tzad Panim D'Zah, on the face of Zah. Shav and Kishir Kumasa Kanizkar. So they're all the same height. Now there are so many parts to this, So I've been thinking about why do we need all of these different yichudim? So what's the I understand. He said you can't. The yichudim need to take place, but you still need them all because there are differences in the flow of the mochim coming into Zer Anpin, and obviously the Nuk, at all these different times. So that's another door to open. Is this exactly what is the influence? Anyway, let's go on. So now, as we joined together, we said once again that great light that from the Ataras Yisod that he got to give him with star for the Zen Haor Sheyesh Bo Sheyesh Bo Mizgada Yaakov Ma'od. So excuse me, I read it wrong, but he said Al Yedei Shefa Haor Sheyesh Bo Mizgada Yaakov Ma'od. Yaakov grows tremendously. And that he's able to make through these great lights Godol Kokol Kumus Ezer Anpin B'Shlemos, as we said before. So that will give him up to the height that he normally gets to, which is the height of the Chazir. But now, at the first beginning of the nighttime, he's getting lights coming out of Leah. And that seems to be significant also, but I'm not sure exactly what to say. Shall Leah should keep the Abba Ve'ima that she gets from Abba Ve'ima. Shehei Mochim Gedolim. So these are big Mochim. Now, I see different logistical problems here. Is that Leah has to be grown to the whole height of Zer Anpin along his back. She's going to grow that, and the Satari Yisod really should be growing inside of her at the same time. His position is that she says her yesod is short and his yesod is long. But if she reaches all the way down to the bottom of Zer Anpin, I mean, that's, I guess, I don't know, it still comes out anyway, he says. Okay. Begam Meir Etzlo Oris Magula, but now also shined by her this revealed light, Shalataris Yisod Abba, whom is Gadol Megira Kakol Kumas Zer Anpin Mamash, and this is what causes him to grow up to the entire height of Zer Anpin. And then he's able to make a yichud with Leah face to face. Bekol Kumas Zer Anpin. It's a big time yichud here. And he said, once again, Zer Anpin is awake. V'nimsa she parts of Yaakov b'chatzas alada, so it comes out to this parts of Yaakov at midnight. Nimdacha yedech beis mini oros. He's built by two different kinds of lights, and understand this. He's el dem oros azecha nivdacha b'gumis of regila. The hindach of the chasad of the zaz. It gets him up to the sada, the chaz of zah, rather. And ba'oros the abba shekiba b'yedech b'leya. So the brother the Aris Mizgado Kumasu Gam Lamala Bechaz, it also goes up even further because of that punch of energy there. Kukal Kumas Zer Anpin, and now it's at the top Va'az Na'asa Yichud Yaakov Im Leah Shava B'Shava Shava B'Kol Kumas Za Mamish. So that's the end of that piece, and he went through all the 4 different times of the Zivugim. There's one other place over there in V'Yavor where he says that after Sim Shalom, there is a yichud that takes place between Yaakov and Yisrael, between Leah and Yisrael, Lamalam and Achazah. And then when you actually fall on your face, and I didn't get to this part, so I didn't really understand, really have any depth on it. After that, there's going to be a yichud with Yaakov and Rachel. So I that's the further I got. Is this talking about the 24 hours, or was it talking about? I'm not sure. But that's the end of that one. And let's go over to the Sifra that's Niuta.